Hello, I'm Tony from Bonner's Music, and we've got two very large keyboard centres. One is in Reigate in Surrey, just off the M25, and the other one is in Eastbourne in East Sussex on the south coast. And you can see Genos in our stores, and we offer really good part exchange deals. And we've had Genos for a week now in the store, and this is our sort of more informed review of Genos, and we're talking about the things that matter to UK players. And with me today, I've got someone who's very well known in the UK keyboard and piano industry, and that is Andrew Gilbert.
Good morning.
Hello, Andrew. Now, Andrew used to work for Kawai in the 1970s. So, first of all, Andrew, what did you used to do for Kawai?
When I started, like most of us, I started as a demonstrator, just playing concerts and demonstrating. But I very soon got co-opted onto R&D because they figured out that I could help with the design of things, and I've been involved with R&D on keyboards, organs, right through to the 1990s.
Right. Since
then, teaching. A lot of it here.
Yes. And what keyboards have you been using recently?
I've still got a Yamaha S950 at home, which is a brilliant keyboard. I take it round to schools, so I'd love a Tyros to take round or a Genos now, but can't plug in the speakers. So that's a brilliant keyboard. But professionally, I occasionally use the top of the range Yamaha.
Right. So have you been using Tyros 5 at all?
Yeah, I've used Tyros 5. Great keyboard.
Okay, and now of course we're moving on to Genos. So really I'd like to sort of chat about what you found with Genos that is different to Tyros 5 and what improvements have been made.
Well, I'd say I've been in this business now 48 years,
yes.
Long time. And for 30 years I was reviewing products for Keyboard Player magazine.
Right.
And as keyboards got better and better, I got harder and harder to impress.
Okay.
And it takes a lot to impress me. I sat down and within 5 minutes I was impressed by this. All I did is sit down, I hit oldies in the style section, went to rock and roll jive, rock around the clock, got a saxophone out in the right hand. Oh yeah, that's way different to what the Tyros 5 would have delivered. So it's a big step up.
And I've had one of these myself now for a week at home, and I've found that I can't get off it. You play it a little bit, and then you find yourself 2 hours later you're still playing it because the styles are just so well programmed. It just makes you want to play. So, should we start off? Let's do some playing. Why don't we start off with some playing? So, what have you found instantly that you really like?
Well, I think what I'll start with is the thing that knocked my socks off for the first 5 minutes. So I'm going to go to one simple style. I'm going to use the one-touch settings, but what I've done is to make it a little bit easier for me when I'm playing it, I've just copied the one-touch settings across into buttons 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in the registration memory. But this is out of the box. Nothing changed. We're not using anything.
Using the presets as it comes.
Just the presets. We've not tweaked anything. We haven't done the compression, the EQ. This is literally as it is out of the box.
Okay, well, let's take a listen then.
Right.
Well, that saxophone sounded really good, didn't it?
I just love the way you can hit it hard and it growls. And it never did that before,
really,
so
really
it's
nice.
so natural.
What I also noticed is, of course, we've now got 10 registration memories.
Yeah.
And you were only using the first 4.
I'm only using the first 4. They're just copying across the one-touch settings. But I like to roll my own, and I very often think, oh, I could do it just one more.
Yeah.
And it's so handy to have another 2.
And also, they've been moved into the centre again, whereas on the Tyros, I think they were slightly offset, weren't they?
No, you can get them with either hand.
Yes.
And that's always, it's one of the things when I wrote reviews, I always said, oh, they've moved it to the left or the right. Why don't they put it in the centre? And they always said,
we were always used to them being in the centre on organs,
that's where they should be, because you can get them with either hand, and it's so quick, so convenient.
So let's move on. What about big band? Have you found any good big band rhythms?
Well, I just sat down while I was playing it in the first, say, quarter of an hour or so, and I thought, well, I'll just hit big band.
Yeah.
And all I did is I pressed a button and I thought, well, let's go jazz, big band count. Well, that's obviously going to be Count Basie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this tune is a Count Basie tune, but it just, you hit a style and it just, you think, oh, I know what will go with that. And you just touch the one-touch settings. And all I'm going to do here is just use the one-touch settings.
Okay.
Again, nothing pre-programmed. I haven't tweaked anything. This is straight off the bat.
So at this point, let's just explain what one-touch settings are. What it is if you choose a style of music, so in this case, Andrew's chosen big band, these 4 buttons here give you 4 sounds that are relevant to the style of music you've selected. So if you were to choose something completely different, maybe a Latin or something, then it would give you 4 different sounds that go nicely with that rhythm. So Andrew, do you want to show us this big band count then?
Will do.
Great. Well, that sounded great. I especially liked that sound you had where, was it you pressed harder?
Yeah.
You get that sort of trill.
You get the trill on the shake on the trumpet.
Sounded really, really
I mean,
good.
that is so useful. 1 or 2 people have said to me when I've been teaching them, well, that's awkward to do, because I can't get the touch pressure right. Now, as well as having like soft, medium and hard, they've added a whole load of extra ones so you can get that touch that's needed to get that trill on that trumpet. Just right for you.
Well, it's a much more natural sort of touch curve.
I've got it set on soft 1, which is probably just about right for me. Other people might have it on soft 2 if they've only just started playing or they haven't got quite enough pressure. People who are coming from piano probably want it on a harder setting because they might find they trigger that too quickly. But now you can set it exactly the way you want it.
Right, really good, really good. So what other sounds have you found that impress you?
Sounds that I particularly like. I've always loved string sounds.
Yeah.
And I think it's been said before that maybe the Tyros didn't really get the string sound great. They had these wonderful Seattle strings.
They were lovely orchestral strings, weren't
Beautiful
they?
orchestral.
Yes.
But when people wanted to play Mantovani or something really warm, they didn't have that warmth to them. No. They've cracked it because they've put in Keno strings.
Right.
There are loads of them, not just one of them. There are loads and loads of these Keno strings. And even just taking one on their own or just mixing 2 or 3 of them together, you can get some absolutely fabulous string sounds.
And is it a warmer sound?
It's a warm sound. You can do all the Mantovani sounds. You can do all the sort of big ballads from the shows. Or you can have the lovely sort of pure orchestral sounds as well. Much warmer than the old real strings or the Seattle strings as they call them now.
Right. Okay.
Brilliant strings.
Well, let's have a listen to those, shall we? Well, those strings are beautifully lush. That was amazing. How were you getting that particular voice there?
That was just one of the Keno strings. There are lots of Keno strings. That's Keno strings warm.
Right.
And tucked away in Legacy, I don't know why they put it in Legacy, but it's a brilliant voice.
Yeah.
It seems to be a completely new voice. It's a very warm sound that they've simply called strings. All I did is just put the two together. You can get that Mantovani sound in loads of different ways that I've played around.
It really was beautiful.
And I put the little cornet in that comes in and plays that little bit. The next bit, you get this lovely block chord effect. And obviously that takes two hands to do. So all I've done is just put on harmony. I didn't even have to do anything there, because when you select a voice, the Genos will choose the right harmony setting to go with that voice.
So it's the appropriate setting.
So it automatically put in the block chord harmony. All I had to do is play one note, it reads the chord that I do, and you get this lovely big ensemble sound, and that's the same harmonies that Mantovani would have used.
That was a really beautiful sound, I must say.
It's a gorgeous sound, isn't it?
And what a big change from Tyros 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that you could do that. You'd have to fiddle around for ages. I did fiddle around for ages, and I got somewhere near it, but that took about 2 minutes to set up. Two voices put together, fabulous.
Yeah, can't see any complaints with that string sound. That's beautiful, really is. So what else have you found, Andrew?
Well, I'm a country and western fan, and one of the things I went into is what have we got new in the country side? And I do like Patsy Cline, and I thought, can it do crazy?
Okay.
Just one button. Again, one touch settings, nothing added, nothing changed at all, and it does it beautifully.
And which country style is it that you'll be
using?
All
I'm going to do is nip into country and go on to page 2, country swing ballad. The one-touch settings are all there, ready to go. And I say all I've done again is I've just copied them into my registration memory so I can get them quickly rather than reach over there.
Okay, let's have a listen.
Right.
Well, that sounded really good. And what I must say I've noticed is that the one-touch settings seem to be programmed so much better than they were on previous models.
No, they've really taken their time to get that dead right. I think that's something that people have said, well, it's okay, but not quite right. Now, they must have really burnt the midnight oil, because these are great.
I noticed before that on previous instruments that a lot of the one-touch settings were actually repeated through lots of the styles and things. So now it seems like they've actually taken each style and reprogrammed each one individually.
A lot of work gone in.
Sounds good, and the strings sounded great
again.
There, and that's just one of the presets.
That's off the one-touch settings. It's just using the Keno strings. They're obviously going to use those a lot because they are the warmest strings. They're the ones that people want to play.
It did sound really good, and I liked the steel guitar.
Yeah, no, that's lovely, because if you bend, normally you use the pitch bend wheel. No,
Yeah.
no, we've now got a joystick here,
Yes.
which is so much more natural to use. You just twang it like that. And of course, on a steel guitar, only the melody note should bend. And
Right.
that's exactly what you get. So that bottom
Yes.
note that you play does play static, and the top one bends.
And is that a super articulation voice?
I
that we've
think
got
it
there?
probably
Which
is.
one are you
All we have
using
to do
there?
is go back to home and have a look, see what it is.
yeah, super articulation.
Super articulation, just pedal steel guitar. You've got plenty of guitars in it. I mean, never seen so many guitars in my life.
No, it's amazing.
And there are so many brilliant ones. Which one do I use? Well, the one-touch settings will give you a really good choice, and they make some really good sounds straight out of the box. And the great thing is you can use the one-touch settings as starting blocks, if you like. You can set up one and think, hang on, what would happen if I used that guitar instead? And you might well find that, hey, that one's better for this tune. In that case, just lock it into one of your registration memories. Job done.
Yeah, yeah. No, very, very easy to use.
One of the things I really liked about that particular style is they put the vocals in the backing.
Yeah.
That's been around now since Tyros 4, I think that started. And it's good, but now they just track.
Right, almost sounds...
It's not jumping around.
No.
As you play different inversions of chords, the keyboard doesn't look at that. It just thinks, what would the singers actually do?
Yes.
And it seems to just play natural harmonies, which again is a big improvement from what it was.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Which is brilliant.
So what else have you found then?
Well, I got actually somebody emailed me when I sort of said, oh, I'm going to do this video. And they said, could you do a bit of James Last?
Okay.
Very, very popular.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'd choose one of the obvious ones, and that's Mornings at 7.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to one of my old favourite styles. It's not a new style. It's been around for ages.
Yes.
But like all the styles in here, they seem to have been reworked. They've got new sounds.
Drums are much better, aren't they?
And the
so
drums,
much better.
Now you've got these Revo drums in it.
Yeah.
So when you hear a little drum flam or a drum roll, it's not the same snare drum going boom, 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 boom every time. It's different.
Yeah.
You get different. It's wave cycling. I think we've called it sort of round robin sampling on software. But now wave cycling on the drums is brilliant because the drums just sound alive.
And in doing that, Yamaha have managed to. They don't need the audio styles anymore because the drums are now so good. You don't need to be using audio styles.
Audio styles now. Audio styles were great, but they did the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And here you've got more control over it. And of course, if you use the MIDI recorder, it will record it. So you've got no problems with, oh, I've got no drums on my backing now. Where's it gone?
Yeah.
They are great. So I'm going to go back to an old one, 6/8 orchestral ballad.
Okay.
And I thought, I wonder what they've done with the one-touch settings. Have they sort of put James Last into it? Yes, they have.
Well, let's
and
take
they've
a
got
listen.
it dead right. Again, this is straight off the bat. One-touch settings just put into memories.
Okay.
Nothing changed.
Right, take
Let's
it
go
away.
for it.
So on Tyros 5, Yamaha introduced something called Ensemble voices. Andrew, do you want to explain what Ensemble voices were?
Ensemble was a great idea, whereas if you physically held down 4 notes,
Yep.
you could use, well, Ensemble would put 1, 2 and 3 and 4, use all the voices and assign a different sound to each note. Ferociously difficult to do if you're playing like that.
Yes.
So sensibly they made it work with the harmony system as well. So if you put the harmony on, you only have to play 1 note. It takes the chord from the left hand and gives you this lovely ensemble.
So you're saying that a saxophone, if you play a chord,
Yep.
saxophone can play 1 note, and then maybe a clarinet another note,
Exactly,
a trombone
yeah.
another note, and
Yeah.
so on. So how about we just put that to the test then?
Well, I think the easiest one to do for a lot of people are going to think
Yep.
Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
Clarinet at the top, 3
Yes.
saxophones in the middle, and then a tenor sax at the bottom.
Okay.
Would it do it straight out of the box?
Okay.
In theory, it's got to. Otherwise, you've
Yeah.
got to do a lot of fiddling
Yes.
and twiddling. So all I've done here is I went to Ensemble and just chose one called Miller Time.
Yeah.
The clue is in the
Yes.
title, isn't it? And we've gone back to one of our favourite rhythms of Midnight Swing, which is
Okay.
the one that's intended for Moonlight Serenade. So literally 2 buttons, 1 style
Yeah.
and 1 ensemble. And it
Let's
does
have a
this.
listen. That was a really good Miller sound, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and that's all we need to do there, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because it does that all the way
Says
through.
it all, doesn't it?
Again,
Sounds
you
great.
can use the one-touch settings, you can use the ensemble,
Yeah.
put them into registrations if you need to. It's really, really easy to get around,
Yeah.
and that's a cracking good sound,
That's
and
a
one
good,
that a
really
lot of
good
people are
sound.
going to have some
Really
fun
good
with.
sound. Absolutely, yeah. So what else have you found, Andrew?
Well, I went back to another one of my favourites. A lot of my exam
Yes.
students at grade 2, there's an good old favourite called Sloop John B.
Okay, yeah.
And
Beach
lots of different
Boys,
ways
wasn't
of
it?
doing
Was
that
it
one.
Beach Boys?
Beach Boys, but
Yeah.
it goes back even further than that. I get my students to do a bit of research, and they come up, ooh, it's older than that, Andrew. Yeah, it goes back right back to the 1940s, 50s. Lonnie Donegan did it.
Did he really?
Skiffle version.
Right, okay.
Well, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do pick a rhythm which is called bubblegum pop.
Okay.
Now, bubblegum pop usually gets used for "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?"
Yeah.
But it absolutely fits Sloop John B to a treat.
Okay.
So, just a couple of sounds. This time I've chosen just 1 or 2 sounds. I thought we'll have a saxophone and so forth. Lovely sound.
Okay, let's hear it. Well, that was a really good sound, wasn't it? The drums especially, I thought were
Yeah,
great.
I mean, when you get those drum rolls like that,
Yeah.
it used to be same sound. Now, as he does that on the
Yeah.
drums, you get a different tom
Sounds
sound
like a band
on each
playing,
one.
doesn't it?
So it
Yeah.
sounds realistic. So when you get those lovely sort of rolls around the drums, it doesn't sound mechanical, it doesn't sound artificial. And the thing I really love about the alto sax is if you just lean on it a little bit more, you get vibrato. That's nothing new, but what a vibrato, they've got it spot on. You can see the guy
Natural,
sitting there
yeah.
just blowing that alto sax and
Yeah.
making that sound.
Yeah.
So some fantastic sounds out of that.
Well, and overall, I think it's such a step forwards, isn't it, from Tyros? And I think it was time myself for a change anyway. Tyros had been around a very long time. The operating system had been crammed with lots and lots of new features and was starting to, you had to go through menus to get to different things, whereas now it's all become a lot easier, hasn't it?
Now, the touch screen really does work. I mean, it's very intuitive. I always review products not looking at the instruction manual.
Yeah.
It's always put away.
I never read
if I can't
instructions,
figure
no.
it out, then it's going to be
Yeah.
difficult for somebody else. But this one, sit down, and it is so easy. From the home screen,
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
I think, where's the mixer? Oh, hang on, there's a button for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything
it's
has a
straight
button
there.
again, doesn't it? It's
so there's
very easy to
no
find.
button pushing around here.
And I must say, I particularly like these buttons here.
Yeah, the gateway buttons.
The gateway buttons, which take you straight into the part of the keyboard you want. If you want to change a voice, hit voice, brings up all the voices on the screen. Hit style, takes you straight through the styles. So the Genos has been redesigned completely from Tyros. It sounds better, it's easier to use. It looks great as well. I must say, I like the black finish. It does look really, really good. And it's lighter to carry, which is great. So all of us that actually go out playing, or you want to take it around to a friend's house or something, Genos is just literally so light to move. So Andrew, should we finish off with one more tune then? Would that be okay?
I got another request and somebody said, could you do Bert Kaempfert? Again, very popular, like James Last and Mantovani. A lot of people enjoy playing it. You've got Orchestra Swing 1, Orchestra Swing 2. They are still there. They're the classic Bert Kaempfert styles. Again, reworked, and now you've got absolutely fabulous drums. The brush kits in here are phenomenal. They really are.
Well, I've noticed they've actually added more sounds to the brush kits, haven't they? So you're not just limited to a snare drum.
You've got some really long samples in there as well, where it used to get sort of and it used to cut off. Now you get a cymbal crash that goes right to the end of the actual cymbal crash itself. So.
Well, let's take a listen to Bert Kaempfert.
Yep, it's the wrong time, but let's play 3 o'clock in the morning.
So that brings us to the end of our sort of week into Genos review. So like I say, we've had this keyboard for about a week now, and we're just still getting to know it. But the thing is, it's just so playable. So what I would really invite you to do is come down to one of our stores. We've got one in Reigate in Surrey and one in Eastbourne. Both have got on-site parking, and you can come and play Genos for yourself. Come and spend some time with it, and I guarantee you will fall in love with it. It really does sound great. We get the chance to see pretty much every keyboard that's ever manufactured, but nothing recently has quite had the appeal and the playability of Genos. So please do come to one of our stores. We do take part exchange as well, so email us details of what you've got, or give us a phone call, and we're quite happy to give you a part exchange quote over the phone. So thank you very much for watching this movie. Check the links in the description below for more information about pricing, and I do hope to see you in one of our stores soon. So thank you very much.
Bye.